Well, welcome to the new moon in April. It is the new moon in Taurus. And thank you for being here. Those of you who are live or watching it, I appreciate you watching it as well. I hope that you do this ritual for yourself if you're not here live, but really it's the actions that we do that does it, not just listening to me. I say this because back in my previous life, I used to, be able to book learn everything, but I never actually took it in, and doing the work is the way that we do that. So hopefully you'll follow along and do the work with me. Today is, like I said, the Taurus moon, and when I looked it up, I looked up several different astrologers because the first one I was like, well, that's not very nice. And then I looked at the next one and it was like, well, that's not very nice either. So it turns out the new moon in Taurus basically says, hey, lay those plans. They're not going to work out. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I couldn't really imagine a meditation around that. So I was really, really grateful that today is also Earth Day. So today what we're going to do is an Earth adoration meditation from Danielle Laporte. It is the medium version of it, so there's a much longer version. If you're interested in it, let me know, and I can set up a time where we can all do the long version. But we're going to do the meditation first. Usually I insert the visualization in the middle of a ceremony, but this one, I think we're going to try a new thing, and we're going to do the meditation first, and then we're just going to go through the ceremony so that it's more smooth when we go through it. Yeah. And I will be done within an hour, Lord willing. And when we do this meditation, it does mention God. And what I want you to do is bring in whatever higher power works for you. So if that's angels or spiritual guides or archetypes or divine feminine, use whatever works for you and just be open to that. Again, this is a place of safety, so when we are discussing or sharing, I will be pausing the recording, so those of you who are watching the recording, you won't see any of those conversations come live. Cool. Yeah, so the overview is that we're going to do this Earth adoration, then we're going to do the ceremony, which pretty much is pretty simple. I do the same one every month, basically, as far as the ceremony pieces. There's a review of the last cycle and what's happened. We choose what it is that we want to hang on to, if there's any intentions or goals that we want to continue working on, or maybe there's things that happen that we want to let go of, and so we'll do that too. So we'll celebrate the things that we love, and we'll let go of the things that no longer serve us, and then we'll be setting our intentions for the next moon cycle. So with that being said, we're going to start on this Earth adoration meditation. Now normally I would play a little meditation music in the background, but I don't know if you've all tried it. If you play music with Zoom, it doesn't always work out so pretty. So feel free to turn on your own meditation music in the background if that is what works for you. Otherwise, silence is always fine too. Cool. So let me just get my mouse down to where it needs to be. Cool. So in this practice, there's a few pieces. We are going to do this. It's going to be more of a visualization than a meditation. Meditation visualization seems to be a very fuzzy word between a lot of people. But the posture, just make yourself comfortable. Often, Danielle will tell you to sit in a certain pose, a lotus position or something. I say as long as you're comfortable and your back is straight so that you can breathe, that is the main important part of meditation. If it's comfortable for you to sit in, child's pose or some other pose that you want to sit in, have at it, whatever makes you comfortable, and you'll still stay awake and pay attention. So that's the mix, right? That's the paradox that we want to sit in. When we breathe in this visualization, and just in generally in meditation, It's just slightly deeper than we would normally breathe. If you ever notice me sitting at my computer, I can start breathing really shallowly. So this isn't about making giant breaths all the way through, but we do want to stretch some of those muscles. What I learned when I started going into my meditation practice regularly is that my stomach muscles don't move. So if when in doubt in meditation, I like to just focus on my stomach muscles being able to breathe, right? Being able to breathe through our stomachs is more important because we always breathe through our chest, but breathing through our stomachs. Okay. Yeah, so there's going to be an invocation, which is just calling on our higher spiritual beings, whoever that is for you. There is a prayer to it. It's the Shanti. I'm probably going to mess these words up, so please feel free to correct me. The Shanti Deva prayer, which is an 8th century Indian Buddhist monk. And yeah. So I'm going to also light a candle. I had a lighter. There it is. I'm all about the senses, and I believe that visual, hearing, smells. So I burned some sage before this. I believe that all those things are really helpful to kind of bring us into a more sacred space. Nice. And she has a note here that fire element also is about deeper learning and deeper growth. It's just fire is a symbolic representation of our soul. And we know this because lots of religions use candles in their rituals and ceremonies, even Christianity. Cool. Great. All right. So take a breath, get yourself comfortable, and get yourself grounded, and feel free to close your eyes. If you're not an eyes closer, you're welcome to just stare off and gaze at something softly. And call on your higher guide, whoever that is, God, Divine Father, Sky, Mother Earth, holy angels, spiritual guides, elders. And with the help of my higher self, I hereby invoke for divine light, divine love, and divine power. May I be blessed with sincere intention, purity of motive, focused clarity, and divine guidance to heal, holify, restore, renew, and bless Mother Earth and all the sentient life that live, love, move, and breathe through her being. So be it, and so it is. With deepest thanks. And here's the prayer. May I become at all times, both now and forever, a protector for those without protection, a guide for those who have lost their way, a ship for those with oceans to cross, a sanctuary for those in danger, a lamp for those in the dark, and a servant to all those in need. As long as living beings exist and suffering afflicts them, may I too abide to dispel the misery of the world. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles, and for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and sky, until all beings are free from sorrow and are awakened. And now we're going to start the visualization. So imagine and visualize a deep, dark blue sky all around you. The dark blue sky is as far as your mind's eye can stretch beyond the horizon. One by one, you start noticing the twinkling of stars in the night sky. You experience yourself now as an angelic being, pure, radiant light. You are seated on top of an indigo-hued planet known as Venus, perched on the highest elevation. You see white mountains and white snow. Everything is impeccably white. There is nothing to be seen for miles and miles except mountain ranges covered in fresh snow. This is the realm of pure emptiness. Far above you is a golden yellow, intensely saturated sun with dynamic solar flares. It's active, alive, and full of life. This sun is way above your head, so far away you barely notice it to be the size of a pinhead. Now imagine the sun vertically descending, slowly coming closer and closer to you, and hovering about 21 feet above your own crown chakra. As it descends, its size expands, and it seems as vast as the spacecraft above you. The sun is a rich golden, bright yellow, pulsating with life, highly dynamic, alive, and filled with solar flare-like activity. The frequencies emitted by solar flares are richly abundant in colors of golden yellow prana, which evoke the innate qualities of wisdom and illumination. With the sun 21 feet above your head, now visualize a thick beam of translucent golden light pouring down in and around you, forming a wide column around your auric field. And remember to breathe. In your mind's eye, gazing outward with 360-degree awareness, you mindfully observe the different constellations, planets and moons all dancing their cosmic dance in the sky. Everything is rhythmic in nature. Then you notice Mother Earth in your view, your mother. You visualize her to be the size of a soccer ball in front of you. She is magnificent. Now you are going to really power up on your love and stream it to Mother Earth. The pure intention here is to alleviate her suffering and the suffering of all beings who live and move and have their being through her generosity. Now really activate your love generously, and through your heart and crown chakras, send out streams and ribbons of light-filled frequencies. Translucent pinks, deep, rich sapphire blue, and saturated golden yellow. A little bit white. Each stream of color is individual. The different streams of colors mix, fuse, blend, merge, and synthesize as they travel through space and finally descend onto Earth, enveloping her entire being with love, light, and radiance. Pink, blue, yellow, and white. You can also visualize the streams of light emitting from the center of your palms or from your third eye. And just send those colors. These ribbons and streams and frequencies envelop the entire Earth, the troposphere, and the stratosphere of our planet. If you get distracted, which is natural, just bring your awareness back to your gentle breath and reset the intention of sending divine power, love, and light to our Mother Earth to help alleviate the suffering of all beings. Let's see this flow continuing. The love you have for Mother Earth takes the shape of multi-hued streams of translucent light. And visualize those translucent pinks, the deep, rich sapphire blue, and saturated golden yellow with a little bit of white. Generously offer your love through your heart and crown chakras to her. Don't hold anything back. The more you give, the more you receive in terms of energetic support and gratitude. So keep giving generously. The more you give and send her way, the greater and wider your channel to the divinity and connection with the higher beings. So keep giving and keep expanding. You see Mother Earth coming alive, rocking gently with happiness as she experiences the love radiating from your heart. The more you bless her, the more she becomes alive. Keep focusing on your heart center and keep visualizing and imagining ribbons of colored light emitting through your being, which reaches and envelops her with the deepest love. As you are sending love, light, and radiance, keep your awareness open, expansive, and inclusive of all planetary life. Keep giving generously. The more you give, the more you receive. And you may observe the size of your own energy bodies expanding in size and magnitude through this offering. Now, we're going to go to the lands and the forests. Visualize the Earth's terrain as abundantly rich, green, lush, nutrient-dense, mineral-infused vistas of farmland, forests, jungles, and vegetation of all kinds. We are now sending light, love, and radiance to the Amazon forests in Peru, Costa Rica, Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, and Bolivia. If there are other regions with vast plantations that you'd like to bless, set the intention with the name, the location, and radiate energies in that direction. If any particular land or forest comes into your consciousness as you explore, feel free to send it healing energies. Focus on your crown and heart chakras and project rich hues of translucent pinks, sapphire blue, and shimmery golden yellow into the land, forests, and jungles, the farmlands, the vegetation, and all the nutrient-dense offerings given to us by Mother Earth. Set the intention to see the land as clear, clean, protected, luminous, radiant, and filled with multi-hues of energy, prana that aids in the life of all beings who live in these places. Now we're going to bring our attention to the voluminous oceans and the water bodies of our beautiful Gaia. Visualize the oceans being calm, contained, balanced, and blissful. See the waters are clean, blessed with purity, and the myriad of lives that inhabit the oceans live in peace and harmony. Swirling blues, greens, white, topaz. Natural sea salt, our greatest cleanser, renews and restores those immersed in the oceanic waves. We set intention to project multicolored hues of prana to the Arctic, Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Southern Oceans. If any particular body of water comes into your consciousness, feel free to send healing energies to it. Focus on your crown and heart chakras and project rich hues of translucent pinks, sapphire blue, and shimmery golden yellow into the oceans. The rich hues of sea salt filled with greens, whites, topaz, and aquamarine. Project the healing energies through these waters so that all sentient beings inhabiting the oceans and water bodies receive these healing frequencies as well. We are projecting healing, restorative energies to the water creatures, including deep sea creatures, whales, sharks, dolphins, manta rays, the ocean sunfish, the sea lions, the porpoises, the smaller jellyfish. Project love, light, radiance, and divine order through the oceans so that these sea creatures live in peace, harmony, and equanimity, and so that the balance of the waters is deeply restored and aligned with their highest good. We're going to focus on one more area, the human kingdom. Bring our attention to the human kingdom. We visualize all human beings as joyous, thriving, balanced, peaceful, radiant, love-filled, absorbing the rays of the sun, and abundantly blessed. Every human being is vitalized with a solar richness and is abundantly blessed in all ways. Visualize all human beings living on the continents of Antarctica, Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, and the Americas. All of the continents and all of the people are infused with sacred divine qualities of divine love, divine light, and divine radiance. As we bless all human beings in all directions, we rejoice in the divine order that has been restored to the human kingdom. And at this moment, if there's specific people you would like to bless or send healing energies to, you can do that now. Again, gently focus on your crown and heart chakras and project those rich hues of translucent pinks, sapphire blue, and shimmery golden yellow to the human kingdom. Stay focused on healing energies to all human beings that make up this kingdom in its entirety. We are sending energies of restoration and renewal to all the human kingdom and the beings that inhabit this kingdom. Continue to project love and light and radiance to all humans, and bless them with divine order so that peace, equanimity, and balance is embedded in their DNA and cellular structure of their energy bodies. So see the planet Earth again and see it surrounded by these translucent pinks and blues, shimmery golden yellow that you have sent, and see the flow of that energy and how it touches everything on Earth. And then see yourself on Earth being who you are, being touched by that blue and pink and golden yellow, and infused with that divine love, divine light, and divine order. And take a breath and bring that back to your room with you and back to this connection. Take another breath and open your eyes when you're ready. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording. Awesome. So that was the visualization. There, as I was saying while we were on pause, is there's a lot more parts to this. A lot more parts that this could be well over an hour. So I did go through them a little fast, but just try to go back and visualize that. When I have struggles with people, especially people, because what triggers you more than another human being, it often helps me to see myself offering them love. And I just think it's a really beautiful thing today for us to offer Mother Earth some love. She's been loved a lot more probably in the last 30 days than ever before, or at least in the last few decades, but she can definitely use more love. So let's move into this ceremony. So altar building. So every month I change my altar. I had my drum on my altar last month and it's here now too. And that's just something I keep. I usually have flowers. They came from outside in my garden. I usually have something to burn. Again, it's about the senses, although Arizona flowers don't necessarily smell so much. They're not like roses or anything. They don't seem to have very strong scents, at least for me. They visually, I love them. And then I have my smells. I have tactile things like little rocks that I can hold while I'm meditating. Sometimes that helps to calm me. I have other smelly things. And I usually have a rattle or something on here to make noise, but I do have my drum, so that's my noise maker this month. And I choose things by what it is that I'm intending for the month or what I think I might need. So the drum is more playful for me than the rattle is. The rattle is something I use more in ceremony. So yeah, I'm just I like to reset it with intention. And I just like to mention that because I do change mine on the new moon. That's how I remember to set my intentions and schluff my spiritual self. Does that? It's like schluffing my spiritual self. Yeah, but that's pretty much what it's like, is cleaning out the old and kind of really setting with intention the new. And maybe there's some old stuff that comes past. So we're going to talk about that now. So what we do first in this ceremony is to review where we have been in the last 30 days. And it's been a very strange ride probably for most of us, different than most What I like to do is in my notebook, I like to make 2 lists, and I do this intentionally. So I've thought about the best way of doing this for me is I usually make 2 lists, and I'll make, like the stuff I want to celebrate and goals that I'm going to continue to take forward with me. So obviously we don't finish all of our projects within 30 days. So if there's some intention or goal that you set for last month that you still want to continue on, I put that in the first column. Anything I want to keep or celebrate goes in this first column. And on this second column, by the edge of the paper so that I can rip it out when I'm ready, is all the stuff that I'm letting go of. So maybe that's my retreat that I didn't get to go on, right? Or maybe that's all the events that I really was looking forward to that I haven't been able to do because of this pandemic that's going on. Or maybe it's just old thought patterns that have been bothering me in my head. Maybe stories I've been telling about myself to myself are not pretty, and maybe I want to write some of those down. So this is where I make my lists. And then what we're going to do, and this is the reason I have us writing the stuff we want to get rid of over here, is I usually tear this section off and I roll it up and then I burn it. Some people can bury it in their backyard, some people just throw it out, whatever works for you. I do suggest that you have some type of ritual though of burning that or getting rid of that piece of paper. There's a physical connection that you kind of want to break to those things. And then we celebrate the good stuff, right? So we make sure that we're reinforcing all those good things that we've done, because so often we can focus on the things that didn't go right. I want us to put more focus on the things to celebrate. And yeah, so for now, I'm going to give you I'll give you 2 minutes just to write stuff down real quick, but you're welcome to do this more in deep later, because I just want to make sure I promise to stay under my hour like I said I would. You can start your list now of all the things that you want to celebrate versus get rid of. So, true. Okay, and I'm going to bring us back. I know that you probably could write on for days because there we go, that's going. I thought for a second, see that sometimes these things are easier to come up with. These things are a little harder, but maybe that's the opposite for you. I hope so. So I came up with a few things that I kind of have to let go of, maybe my retreat or again, those events that I can't do, and some other things that have happened because of the pandemic and you know, maybe our worries about the pandemic or worries about getting whatever it is that we kind of want to let go of that aren't exactly serving us. And then what I do is I do two things. So the first thing is I take that list I don't like and I tear that out, right? Mine's a little shorter so I can. And then I do burn mine, and I'll burn mine under the new moon tonight. But I roll it up into like a little thing to make it a little easier. In Arizona, we don't like flames to be flying around, so I do a tight little piece of paper so it burns evenly and just burns out. But whatever works for you, and I'll put that in my little sage dish, and I'll light that on fire with my sage later. And then the other thing that I like to do is out of this list of things that, you know, were good or great, or you're just reinforcing truths about yourself. So maybe there's some shifts that you're making, and these were like, oh, this happened because, you know, oh, I wanted to walk more. And so I got to see more flowers, or, you know, whatever it is that you come up with. I like to have a list of things that I celebrate. I I love to have a jar of things, of great things that have happened or I've done or that make me feel really good. And so what I'll end up doing is picking out some of these things and writing them down on little pieces of paper individually. Sometimes they're just like stickies or post-its or something, and I'll fold them up and put them in a jar. That way, when I'm telling myself all those garbage stories about how I'm not enough, or, you know, we all know these stories that we tell ourselves negative things. I have that bowl of things to verify that no, that's not really life. That's just today, and it helps me remember that it's temporary. That there are really great things about me, or things that I've done, to reinforce the things that I really want to believe. And you can do whatever you like with them. That's just how I do it. Some people just keep them in, like they have a new moon notebook, and they'll just keep that list. And so you'll see all these pages with like half pages kind of ripped, where there's just like lists of good stuff and the other half has been torn out, to be burned or let go of. So that's the first piece, is to review that last cycle and really look at what do we want to celebrate, and celebrate. You know, after the ritual, you can go celebrate, have a glass of wine if that's what you do to celebrate, or, you know, give yourself a hot bubble bath. I don't know, just celebrate however you eat a cupcake. Um, but to celebrate it is important. We don't do that enough. So those three piles, you know, great things that happen to me that I want to continue taking on forward, things that I want to celebrate, and then things that I want to honor and discard. Um, so this new moon. So last month was Aries, which was all about connection, acceptance, and transformation. And then we're like, yeah, we're going to accept and transform. And then this month comes Taurus and says, yeah, I hear you want to transform. And here's some about those plans, is they're probably not going to work out. So what can we do, right? So and this doesn't mean I'm not 100% in the stars. I don't believe that they actually determine everything for us. However, it's a good point. What do we do when things come up that we've made all these plans and they don't work, right? So, so what I do is I plan intentions around that, right? So if I know I'm having one of those bad days. I don't know if you've ever woken up like this, but like where suddenly your hands aren't working, you're trying to grab things, stuff's knocking over, you know, every bad thing happens and you just feel like this big clumsy fool. And so what can we do about that, right? Like what can we do about those days where we know it's just not going to go the way we want it to go? And how I do it is I do feelings, intentions, and actions, right? So this is how I set my intentions for the day. This is how I set my intentions for the month, is how do I want to feel? So most of you know that I teach something called the Desire Map. And that is all about how we really truly want to feel. So if you've been through a Desire Map, you have something called Core Desired Feelings. And core desired feelings are basically feelings that say, this is how I want to feel most of the time and most of my life. They could be radiant, joyous, content, satisfied, on fire, kind of a big deal, elegant, vibrant, golden, connected. Any of those, or any word you can think of. The feeling is important because we connect to the feeling first. No matter what it is, if there's feeling behind it, it becomes higher energy, right? So think about when we're enthusiastic about something. Suddenly, it takes no energy to do something that if we didn't like it, would take a lot of energy to do. So feelings are what we feel first. So we want to set our feelings. So whatever those feelings are, if you have your core desired feelings, if you just know that next month might be really tough for you and you just need courage, or you want to have more peace in your life, whatever it is that you need feeling wise, that's what we want you to bring in. So we define on how we want to feel. If you're more interested, just find out about a desire map class from me. But this is a time where I really use these core desire feelings and bringing them into how I'm going to plan the next few weeks. And then there's intentions and actions. So intention is, I want to bring this core desired feeling into my life more, right? So for example, my core desired feelings are expansive love, divine knowing, and transcendent. So if my intention around that is to embrace those feelings more, and what does that mean for me? Well, my intention could be that I want to connect with friends more, because that's expansive love to me. I want to meditate more because that's divine knowing to me. When I meditate more, I know that I can connect with my divine knowing even more. So those are the intentions, right? And then there's the actions, which are, okay, so if I want to connect with friends more, what does that mean? And my logical mind needs to know what that checkbox is, or else that big, fuzzy to do is just going to stay there and I'm not actually going to connect with people. So I need to give myself actionable items that I can do. Oh, well, I want to connect with these 5 people, or I want to connect with at least, 3 people a week, or I want to connect with, however you want to set up those. What are the specific actions behind those intentions? So if I want to say I'm going to meditate more, what does that actually mean to me? Is it like I want to meditate longer sessions? Do I want more sessions? Do I want both? I like to have true kind of goals behind them. This isn't about shame. This isn't about, oh, if I only meditate 4 times this week and I said 6 times, that I'm going to suddenly get really hard on myself. It's just about a curiosity. If we don't set a goal of some type, often I know I won't do it. So we have feelings, we have intentions, and we have actions. Now, if you've ever been in one of my classes, you probably know that I'm going to tell you there's 2 types of actions, or one of my new moons before. And the first action is the action we do to remind ourselves to do the action. Does that make sense? So for instance, I will set up core desired feelings all over my house. My core desired feelings are in my bathroom, they're in my office, they're on my refrigerator. That reminds me to focus on my core desired feelings, which will help me focus on my intention, right? You can also write your intention around. And I also have a journal that I keep so that, I can track and count what I've been doing and put my intentions in there for the days. However, the other thing we want to do that I find the most useful is to set myself reminders. If I have a reminder to meditate every day, I may not meditate at that specific time, but I will be reminded that I'm supposed to meditate, right? So, and the more that I'm actually reminded that I want to do this, the more I'm likely to do it. So I set phone reminders for a lot of things. I will definitely set phone reminders just to be like, hey, do you remember your core desired feelings or how you want to feel right now? So we need actions that support those other actions, right? So if we have this to-do list of people or this list of things that people that I want to connect with, for instance, I still need a reminder to set up those times to connect with those people or to reach out to them. It's not just about having it on my list, it's about me um, making the solid intention when I'm going to do it and how I'm going to do it. Because I don't know if you're like me, but I can easily let go of anything that is not on my work to-do list, especially if it's only good for me. And then I'm like, I don't really need to do that because I'm lazy. I don't want to say that. I'm not lazy. I can avoid things that are really great. So those are the 3 to 4 things, right? Our feelings, our intentions, the actions we want to do, and the actions we're going to do to make sure that we do those actions, yeah? And then I have my desire map planner, so I track these things every day. You know, I say whether or not I meditated, I write all my core desired feelings, I track any new truths, anything to celebrate. Often when I'm doing my new moon, I'll actually go through my daily desire map planner just to see if there's things that I'm missing, because usually there are things, little things maybe that I've missed, but that are important to celebrate. So that's how I track them at the end of the month, and then that makes it really super easy to, like, you know, review my last month when I do the new moon and then go through the new one. So that is basically all that goes to it. So what I will do tonight, now that I've talked you all through it, and you're like, do you talk yourself through all of this? Of course I don't. What I will do tonight is I usually set up a really simple altar outside. It'll have the things I want to burn. Sometimes it'll have flowers, but it always has a candle and the things that I want to burn. And I will sit outside with them in front of me, and I will just consciously say that, you know, I'll speak to my spiritual guides, whoever that is for you, that here is what I have accomplished in the last month, and I am celebrating these things. I'm letting go of these things in order to make more room for these new intentions, right? So that's the whole purpose of this, is to let go of these things that we no longer need, whether they are dreams that aren't coming to fruition, intentions that you no longer want to take with you, bad habits, whatever it is, the stories you tell yourself, old ways of being. We want to let them all go. And then once we let them go, what happens is a space creates within us, and we need to fill it up. And so a ritual is really nothing more than us saying, I'm letting go of this and I'm stepping into that. So I'm letting go of these things and I'll burn them, and I will name what it is that I'm stepping into. Here are my intentions and my feelings that I'm stepping into and focusing on for the month. And that's basically it. It's a very simple ceremony. We just did all of the work that goes to it, right? So there's a little bit of prep work of coming up with these lists and consciously letting go. Does that make sense? So hopefully that helps. I'm going to pull one truth bomb here, and then we're going to close the recording, but then I'll check in with everybody. So here's what I pulled for us. Interrupt anxiety with gratitude. It's pretty good. Interrupt anxiety with gratitude. That's always a good choice. And that's it for the ceremony. If you're watching the recording and you have questions, feel free to email me or, you know, reach me wherever you're seeing this. And that's it. Stop.